Welcome. In this session, we would talk about an important topic: Prime Minister, Council of Ministers and Cabinet. So under Article 74, it says that there shall be a Council of Ministers with Prime Minister as the head. Now, this word shall is really important because it denotes that it's mandatory in sense to have Prime Minister who would be aiding and advising the Council of Ministers. Later on, there was another phrase which was added, and this phrase says that the Council of Ministers shall, in exercise of the functions, act in accordance to the advice. That means they would act in accordance to the advice that has been given by the Prime Minister. Now, this phrase, act in accordance to the advice, was given under 42nd Amendment Act in 1976. Later on, in the 44th Amendment Act in 1978, it was said that President can send the advice for reconsideration to the Council of Ministers, but that can be only once. If the Cabinet actually sends the same advice again to the President, then the President would have to accept it. So President can send it for advice only once, and this was added under the 44th Constitutional Amendment Act 1978. Now, talking about Prime Minister first. Now, Prime Minister is the leader of the Prime Minister is the leader of the Council of Ministers. It's the Prime Minister is the leader of the party, leader of Lok Sabha, leader of the nation. Now, if we look onto the structure in the Parliament, there is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Now, Prime Minister would have a group of ministers which would be part of the Council of Ministers. And from this Council of Ministers, there would be a subset which would be the Cabinet. That's the few main ministers which would be in charge of the most important duties or the most important departments. Now, important to note, the Cabinet members are members of our Council of Ministers, but all Council of Ministers are not Cabinet ministers. So again, important to note. In case that Prime Minister leaves, now, this leave could be due to resignation, due to illness, due to demise. The cabinet would be dissolved. So, Prime Minister is the pivot on which the constitutional machinery turns, as simple as that. Because if Prime Minister is not there on the position, then the whole cabinet has to dissolve. A very interesting statement was made in 2000 by the President of United States, William Clinton, at that time, when in India it was the Prime Minister was Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and the President of United States at that time said that there is still who deny that democracy is universal aspiration, who say it works for people of certain culture and certain economic sectors. However, India has been proving it wrong for last 52 years of now. So that indicates the importance of the system that has been established in India. So President is not free to appoint the Prime Minister or the members of the Council. So the Prime Minister is appointed by the President, and the Council of Ministers is again appointed by the President on advice of the Prime Minister. However, they all will keep into the office, or they will hold the office during the pleasure of President, and this is considered as only a formal proposition because President is not free to appoint the members. Now, there have been exceptional circumstances in which coalition government has come into place. Coalition government means that no one single party obtains more than 50% of the seats in absolute majority. So, in 2004 general elections, UPA government was formed with Manmohan Singh as the Prime Minister, and this was a coalition of 15 political parties. In 2014, again, NDA won with BJP having 282 seats of the 543 seats. However, in 2019 elections, it was 303 seats for BJP out of the 543 seats, which was an absolute majority. Now, the leader of the political party with the absolute majority is appointed by the Prime Minister, by the President as Prime Minister. So, President would appoint the leader of the political party which has an absolute majority. In case the government is coalition, then the leader of the party which has the maximum say would be appointed by the President as the Prime Minister. But important to note that President has no discretion in this case. Now, once appointed, there are various oaths that are given. So, one is the oath of office. Now, oath of office would remain the same for judges as well. So, for judiciary, Chief Justice of High Court, Supreme Court, judges, again the oath remains the same. So, the oath is that basically they would be having true faith and allegiance to the constitution. They would uphold the sovereignty and the integrity of the country, and they would discharge their duties without any fear or ill will. But for the ministers here, there is another oath that is called as oath of secrecy. So the first one was oath of office, and the second one is the oath of secrecy. So under the oath of secrecy, minister affirms that they would not reveal to any person any matter which shall be brought under consideration as a minister. So again, important to note. Now, we have the list of prime ministers over the year. So Pandit Nehru from 1947 to 64, that was a very long duration we can see. And then we have the list of ministers finally ending to the present to Narendra Modi. Now, here the most important thing we need to understand was that there is a position of deputy prime ministers as well. Now, this deputy prime minister was till the time of demise of Sardar Patel. However, it was later revived in 1967 when Morarji Desai became the deputy prime minister. Later on in 1977, Chaudhry Charan Singh and Shri Jagjeevan Ram became deputy prime ministers under Morarji Desai as the prime minister, right? So when it was Morarji Desai, initially in 67 it was Morarji Desai as the deputy prime minister. Later on, under Morarji Desai as the prime minister, we had Chaudhry Charan Singh and Jagjeevan Ram as the deputy prime minister. And then in 2002, under Atal Bihari Vajpayee government, it was L.K. Advani as the deputy prime minister. Now, what are the benefits that prime minister and the council of ministers hold? So, under each minister, there would be a constituency allowance. So, these allowances are really important.